He was called Nigeria's very first celebrity armed robber, a man who walked into death with a smile on his face. This is the chilling story of Dr. Ishola Oyenusi, the gangster who ruled Lagos in the 1970s and whose bloody reign of terror ended in front of thousands of screaming onlookers. Dr. Ishola Oyenusi wasn't born into poverty, as many assume. He grew up in Lagos during the 1940s and 50s, intelligent and ambitious. He later claimed to have studied medicine, which earned him the nickname doctor, though in truth he was no doctor at all. But ambition without opportunity can turn dark. And for Oyenusi, frustration mixed with greed led him to crime. His first robbery, stealing a car to impress his girlfriend. But that small act of theft would spiral into a life of blood, money, and death. By the late 1960s, Lagos was booming, but crime was everywhere. Oyenusi quickly built a reputation as a fearless armed robber. He wasn't just stealing cars anymore. His gang carried out violent bank robberies, company payroll heists, and highway ambushes. Reports say he could walk into a bank in broad daylight, armed with only a pistol and unshakable confidence, and walk out minutes later with bags of cash. He became so notorious that people called him the smiling killer, because even as his victims screamed in fear, Oyenusi would flash a chilling smile. At the height of his power, Oyenusi's gang seemed unstoppable. They had weapons, cars, and fear on their side. In one infamous robbery, they stole thousands of pounds meant for company salaries, leaving entire businesses unable to pay workers. He grew so bold that his crimes made headlines almost every week. But Oyenusi wasn't just a criminal. To some, he was a strange kind of celebrity. People whispered about his charm, his style, his ability to slip through the hands of police. But behind the glamour was a trail of blood. He killed without hesitation. For Oyenusi, life was cheap, and money was everything. But every empire of blood eventually crumbles. In 1971, during one of his gang's daring robberies, fate finally turned. Police trapped them in a bloody shootout. Oyenusi and his men were captured. The trial shocked Nigeria. Courtrooms were packed with crowds who wanted to see the infamous robber face justice. Witnesses described him as arrogant, unrepentant, and still smiling. The verdict was clear: death by firing squad. On the 8th of September 1971, the stage was set at Bar Beach, Lagos. Tens of thousands gathered, some to cheer, some out of morbid curiosity. The atmosphere was electric, almost like a festival. As the condemned men were tied to stakes, soldiers raised their rifles. And Ishola Oyenusi, the smiling killer, looked at the crowd and smiled one last time. Moments later, the sound of gunfire echoed across Lagos, and Oyenusi's reign was over. Dr. Ishola Oyenusi's story is a chilling reminder. Crime may bring riches and fear, but it never ends well. He lived like a king for a few short years, but died young, disgraced, and executed in public. And yet, his legend still lingers. To this day, people in Nigeria still whisper his name, the gangster who smiled his way to the grave. So, do you think criminals like Oyenusi are born or made by society? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.